Ciao a tutti! Welcome to the kitchen of Sherry and Michael. Today we are preparing one of our favorite vegetarian dishes. In Italian it's called risotto al latte e verdure. In English it's risotto with milk and vegetables. It has a really creamy texture that I think you would really love. And the vegetables we're adding are what we like and that we could find. You can change them up in any way that you like for whatever might be in season at the time. So now, let's take a look at the ingredients that are going into this dish. Okay, so here are the ingredients. To get started, we're going to have a little olive oil in one of our pans, add garlic, and some onions. You could use shallots if you wish. And we're going to get those going. And then once they get translucent, we're going to add the rice. This is our birrio rice from Italy. That's perfect for risotto. So we're going to do that. It'll begin to take all of the flavors of the onion and the garlic. So while that's cooking, then we're going to be warming some milk. And we're going to be adding the milk to the risotto. We're using whole milk today, but you could use 2% or less. And that will become a nice creamy texture. Then we're going to be sauteing in butter some vegetables. So we'll be putting some carrots and asparagus and some mushrooms in the saute pan. And then toward the end, we're going to be adding some peas that are now frozen, but will be defrosted when we're ready to go. And when the rice is ready, then we're going to be adding some Parmesan, a little extra butter, and some Italian parsley and salt and pepper to taste. And that should be it. It's going to be a delicious, delicious dish. Okay, so we've come over to the cooktop here, and we've got our milk that is beginning to warm, and we have our risotto pan, and then we have our saute pan for the vegetables. So this is nice and warm now. I'm going to add some olive oil, and then add our carrots and onions and garlic, and get that cooking up. So we're going to cook this onion and the carrots down a little bit until they're nice and translucent. And then I'll add some mushrooms here once these take. Add a tablespoon of butter. Nice rich flavor. So just stir these around, let them cook down a little bit. And then we'll come back in just a few minutes when they're cooked down and we'll add the rice. Okay, so the onions and garlic are nice and translucent, and the carrots and mushroom and asparagus are coming along nicely. And they'll cook as the risotto cooks as well. So now we're going to add a little bit of white wine using a Sancerre from France, which is one of my favorite wines. And we're going to just add that and then burn off the alcohol, but the taste of the wine will stay. That's the sound that you want to hear as the alcohol burns off. And it'll create a nice sauce for the risotto that's going to go in. Give that just a minute or two more. It smells beautiful. All right. So let's add the risotto, and the idea here is that we're just going to want to coat the rice with all of this beautiful sauce. So we'll add that in. Give that a nice stir about. Get all that sauce in there. I'm going to coat that rice. Beautiful. All right, we'll come back in a few minutes and then we'll begin to add the milk. Okay, so the liquid is all absorbed now into the rice. Looks perfect. I'm just gonna add a little salt and pepper, and then we'll start to add our milk in. About 3/4 cup at a time, and it'll begin to absorb into the rice. You can see that now it's nice and spread out throughout the rice, and it'll begin to absorb into the rice and create a beautiful white creamy texture. So this process will repeat itself about 6 to 8 times as we continue to add milk or whatever liquid. Some people use broth. You can use any kind of stock to create a risotto, but we're using this white milk to create a beautiful white risotto with a creamy texture. You can see how beautiful that's looking right now. And as the milk then is absorbed into the rice, continue to stir it and then add more milk as needed. So it is a job that you have to continually watch and stir, which is part of the fun of it. If you have a glass of wine, you can enjoy cooking together with people and stirring the risotto and then adding more liquid. As you can see, it's about ready for some more, so I'll add a little bit more right now. Another 3/4 cup or so. And it's important to warm up the broth, or the milk in this case, so that you don't disrupt the cooking of the rice, so the temperature of the broth is matched perfectly to the rice. Okay, so that second batch will then be absorbed, and we'll come back in just a few minutes and see how it's doing. Okay, let's check the risotto now, and we'll test it to see how it's coming along. So we keep stirring it, and the liquid is being absorbed. As you can see, it looks really good. Well, let's have a test of it. Some people like their rice very al dente, which is a little bit crunchy maybe. We don't. We like it a little bit softer. It's almost there, but it needs a little bit more time. So we'll come back in a few minutes. We'll add some more milk, and it should be ready in about 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, it looks like it's about ready. I'm just going to give it a quick test. Your rice is perfect. A little stir. And we're going to add a little bit of butter just to finish it off. And we'll add some Parmesan Reggiano and a little bit of Italian parsley to give it some color, and stir that in. And that Parmesan will bind up the risotto in a really nice way. See that butter there? All right, and the last thing we'll do is we'll put our peas in that have been defrosting. And that'll add a nice little bit of burst of color and some nice vitamins for a vegetarian meal. Stir it all in. All right. You can see how the texture of that is really, really nice. It's sticking together beautifully. And we'll add a little salt and pepper at the end. And then we'll plate it. We'll be back in a few minutes. Right, so here we are. We've got the risotto plated. And just for fun, we'll put a few Kalamata olives around, give it a nice Mediterranean flavor. Put a bit of Italian parsley on for color. And there we have it. It's risotto al latte con verdure. And Sherry and I hope you really enjoy it. And thanks very much for watching.